Coming in at the number 3 position in our league power rankings, we have Brandon Niblock. Brandon Niblock, you are number 3. I know you've been questioned to be into the top 2 basically this entire season. But unfortunately, I think you've had more clown emojis than you've had points this year, which precludes you from being in that top 2 spot at this time. When you look at this Nib squad, he's reminding me of Brandon Niblock and all of your favorite NFL player of all time, Russell Wilson, who has a great personality and is a really easy guy to get along with, I'm told. Nibs has reminded me a lot of Russell Wilson and the Broncos this year. It hasn't looked pretty. The numbers haven't been good, but wins keep happening. Just a real grind season. And basically what that translates to is he's gotten pretty lucky on some of these points against totals. His team is doing somewhat better, though, now. But it hasn't looked great. Ultimately, I believe he finished 8th in the scoring rankings. Not super impressive. But through the process of attrition, the squad that Niblock carries has increased steadily and improved its position in the league, getting up to the number 3, just simply a little bit healthier than a lot of these other teams. And, really Chris and Nibs are kind of the opposite teams. Chris has an ultimate go big or go home mentality. There hasn't been a big go-off factor for this Niblock-led squad, but he has managed to have some pretty steady and consistent point totals, more of a high-floor approach. Your best pick, of course, has to be James Cook at 61st overall. One pick after Miles Sanders, you got James Cook, who has become an absolute war machine in the Joe Brady-led offense. This is a type of guy that is getting hot at the right time and could lead you to a championship at the expense of Stephon Diggs, who was killing me recently. Your worst pick has to be Christian Watson. I mean, I know he's had a couple of good games recently, but for most of the season, he's been an absolute dud. Taking him 52nd overall with your 5th or 4th round pick, you just need that position to really be producing for you, and Christian Watson, by and large, hasn't been doing that. He's had some health issues as well. Just overall, not a great pick. When you look at Nibs Payton and his squad, he has to keep the floor high, which he's been doing all year, and he has to get some help. Lester's going to have an off week. If Lester's team is on, Lester's team will kick the living shit out of Nib's team. The go factor, like I mentioned, hasn't been there. But if he gets lucky, which is a big part of fantasy, he will potentially be able to beat Lester, although Lester's trend clearly much better recently. With that being said, we're going to move on, baby. It's the final 2, and it's coming up very soon.